Just wrapped up here with State Police and FBI agents. I am standing here with State Police Trooper Lyle Sapinka and FBI Agent Wells Morrison. Let's first talk about what is going on back there at the investigation. Trooper, do you want to answer what's going on where the plane crashed?
We have numerous troopers that have been assigned to secure the perimeter. At this point, we are considering this to be a crime scene. With all the other incidents that have happened in the United States today, we believe that to be so. So as such, we have to secure this as a crime scene. No one is permitted into the area. The actual investigation is going to be conducted by the FBI, as if this is an act of terrorism, it is their jurisdiction. So we are working in conjunction with them by protecting the crime scene. Nothing there can be moved until it is documented and photographed.
So the FBI is actually handling the investigation. So let's talk to Wells Morrison, FBI agent. What can you tell us about this investigation?
Well, as the Major said, we're not prepared to say that it was an act of terrorism. However, we're proceeding as though it were. The main thing now is to preserve the crime scene, which the State Police is doing. We have FBI agents and FBI evidence response team personnel en route here. All of that will take a period of time. We're establishing a command post along with the State Police, a multitude of other federal agencies, local and state agencies, as well as the Somerset County coroner. And we'll be establishing a temporary morgue in conjunction with the command post, and we'll be then starting a very methodical approach to the actual site of the aircraft, working our way to the through the crime scene.
Any particular evidence that makes you look at this as if it were a terrorist attack?
Well, just the totality of the circumstances of things that have occurred today.
Can we say whether there was an explosion on board? What happened to make this plane crash at this point?
It's just too early to say in this point in the investigation.
What about number of passengers and whether family members have been notified, any from our area?
My understanding at this point in time, I was told that there were 38 passengers and a crew of 7. However, I have not been able to confirm that.
Okay, thank you guys very much for joining us live. Once again.
Yeah, now with me now is William Randolph, who's a local fellow from Somerset, who you didn't see what happened, but you heard what happened. Tell me, what happened?
We were sitting in a house. We heard the TV move from sitting on the floor. Smoke was up in the air. We were told that the plane was a 45 angle and a nosedive into the ground over in that area somewhere.
What exactly did you hear?
It felt like an earthquake. It felt like the house was moving.
And what did you do after you heard that sound?
We come outside and we looked up and we seen all the smoke. There was nobody at the scene, no police cars, nobody.
Did you go to the scene?
We come up here and we start going on the road some, and a cop car come down out of the woods. There must have been a police car here at the time. He come up out of the woods and they told us to turn around and come back.
You had friends who were at the scene, though. What did they see?
The FBI told them they weren't allowed to talk.
What is your reaction being a local person and having something like this happen?
It's amazing. I can't believe something like this can happen up in this area. I mean, nothing ever happened like this before.
What is the reaction? You've been talking to folks in the Shanksville area and the Somerset County.
Everybody's shocked. It's unbelievable. It's a big shock.
And you were saying earlier, even communications have been difficult.
Yeah, they said the phones were down in the Somerset area. I seen the police cars over at the high school in Somerset. I guess they were locked down at the school. All the banks were closed. Post-op, they were evacuating people from the courthouse. That's basically what I seen. And
you also saw, didn't you see some of the federal vehicles and federal law enforcement coming to the scene?
Yes, I seen FBI come into the scene. There was a vehicle, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but he come in here and he had actual photographs of the scene. And I seen him. And then when the police showed up, he took off.
And again, William, just as a longtime resident in Somerset, something like this happened, a national world tragedy hitting close to home. Your reaction?
It seems really terrible that something like this happened. I mean, all these people died in this aircraft. I'm speechless. I mean, I can't believe something like this happened.
William Randolph for Somerset, thanks so much for joining us here. And
huge humongous field down here. It's probably as big as this field here, but it's a lot of trees and woods.
Is this okay, Craig? From what you've heard about what happened, any thoughts, any perspective on how this might have happened or what actually did happen?
Well, since we don't know and it is speculation, it's difficult. The only blessing, if there can be in such a sad tragedy as this, is that it was done in a very remote here rural area where had it made it to a more populated area, it certainly would have been more loss of life. We certainly feel sorry for the families and people on board this plane, both crew and passengers. But considering in light of today's situation, in a lifetime, it's almost unbelievable. It is unbelievable to think that it occurred.
As somebody who obviously knows the aviation industry, who knows these folks who run the airlines, what are the airlines doing right now in response to this? How would they be handling this?
Well, first of all, I think FAA did a very exemplary job by closing the air infrastructure down today. The only thing that's going are helicopters in short run between their FBOs and whatever they're doing. But I think that was a very pragmatic decision, and when that opens up, that will probably be done in stages, it would appear, and then I imagine international carriers will be the last they'll allow to bring in. But given the scenario, the FAA certainly responded in a very exemplary manner, and although they've been criticized by many people for many things over the years, they didn't lose any time in doing the right thing today. I think it was a wonderful job.
What is going on now 2 miles behind us at this crash scene?
Well, the NTSB will be on board doing everything, obviously looking for those black boxes, as well as the decontamination of the site because of the carnage that's there. There's obviously the chance of contamination, so it's a very pragmatic decision to do things in what would appear to be a slow manner to the public, but in order to do everything right, this is the way it has to be done.
What would have been what would be going on with these planes in the air that were basically missing? How could the FAA work to try to track down what happened to those planes?
Well, in each cockpit, there's a cockpit voice recorder, and there's a flight data recorder. The cockpit voice recorder would give you the conversation, everything said from several microphones placed strategically in the cockpit. Pilot's conversation, the flight officer, and anyone else's voice, whatever they'd say would be recorded on that, and that would be in perpetuity. It's a matter of just retrieving those and playing them back.
Your gut reaction to what's happened today?
As awful as it was, at least the Western Pennsylvania incident that occurred in a rural area, and thank God that it was at this point just the loss of life of the people on board the plane. It's not a good situation, but it could have been far worse.
Okay. Craig, sit tight for a quick second. We're going to get...
a reverse or two, eh?
Yeah, you know.
Can you do my pin side?
Yeah, we've already done it.
No problem.
Yeah, we got you taken care of.
Yeah, and about 60 pounds. I don't look heavy enough, so. Oh, okay, that works for me.
So, do you have a hard time getting out?
No, the Fox guys they had a hard time.